Hey everybody, it's Stephen Francis, also known as Leonard Meltzner.
And I'm a disappointment.
And you're watching episode 158 of the Adventures in Odyssey Oddcast. That's right, baby. We're back. It's been a lot of time.
I'm trying not to cry because Devin doesn't like me anymore.
Last time, I think...
He's a bully.
We were 1 week away from catching up. And now this episode was supposed to come out 9 weeks ago.
And then we got mugged.
Well, you just had school. You had a semester happen.
And then we had to deal with the mugging.
A full semester.
Now, a full semester's worth of being constantly mugged
of
our equipment over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But we got it back.
Yeah.
So now we can record again.
Okay, so this also might, almost set a record for the longest between... I know it's not the longest between filming something and releasing it, like the second half of this episode, but it must be the longest between filming something with a guest and releasing it.
Yeah, something pre-recorded a long time ago.
Poor Gabriella has been waiting so long to see the second half of her guest spot
Did
review.
she actually watch the first part?
I mean, I hope so. You would have a better idea than me.
I don't think she did.
But she's still waiting for it to come out so we can show it to other people.
I don't think she knows.
Yeah, we talked to her about it during Bible study.
Oh, okay.
What are we doing today, Victoria?
Nothing. Bye, guys.
The end. We are talking about
I can't remember.
Beyond Repair. Beyond Repair is the...
I listened to it 2 days ago.
The October...
Between finals studying.
October AIOC episode. Because it's still October, right? My watch died 9 weeks ago, but it's still October. Yeah. Are you alluding to something? Where did the mugging come from? Or is that just our excuse? I feel like I missed a beat.
It's our excuse.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
Don't you ruined it!
I literally thought, did I get mugged? Forget about it.
I mean, you did have your...
That was 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. Yeah, but not since the last episode came out. What are we talking about today, Victoria?
Post-traumatic stress, it kicked in
It's
really
finally kicked in. What are we talking about?
We're going to be doing 2 reviews. One is Beyond Repair.
Very good.
And the next one is the second part of 3 funerals and a wedding.
Mm-hmm. And what else are we doing also?
Predictions for the next album.
Yes.
Album 66?
Yes. That was also my reaction typing into AIOO Wiki. I was like, yes. Album 66. As of filming this, it comes out on the AIOC the day after tomorrow. Which is
the day I
fly back to home, yeah.
And the name of a movie I hate very much.
What?
Fun fact.
Album 66?
The day after tomorrow.
And by the time this is on YouTube, it is probably going to come out tomorrow, scant hours from now, if not out already. So, watch the predictions first, I guess. But I mean, most of our predictions are going to be about the latter half of the album. So, yeah. I'm really...
You can't... Victoria just to spite you, I'm not going to say anything about the second half. I'm only going to theorize about the first half.
Okay, let's see how long Victoria can stick to that one.
Devin doesn't believe
That's not because of Kingdom Hearts. That's not be Kingdom Hearts. That's because of what episodes are in this album.
Devin, I know that. That was a joke. But still.
They're both things can be true.
Devin doesn't like me anymore.
Man, when the second half of this episode cuts in, my hair is going to be so much shorter. My nails will be blue instead of, Christmas themed.
Mine won't be blue.
That's a nice blue.
Thank you. I stole his nails. I gave you permission to use any of my colors.
No, I hadn't seen that one.
This is my Elizabeth blue that I bought for 2 years ago.
So, let's start this because we have a lot to talk about.
You don't know that.
I do, because we already filmed one part of it months ago, and
true.
It was super long, and we're doing 3 segments, so... Fortunately, I don't have much to say about Beyond Repair. So, episode 847, Beyond Repair, written by Bob Hoose. What happens in the episode, Victoria?
You're gonna have to help me a little bit with the names.
Yeah, that's what the names, okay.
What? Did you think I'd say everything?
Yes.
No. I've got the majority of the plot. So, is it like Alicia?
Alicia, yes.
Okay.
I remember because
I remembered it because when they first said it, I'm like, this is the 19th character with a personal issue relating to her family named Alicia. We have met ever since the hiatus. It alternates between Alicia and Felicia. It's just like the core root of the word is just always constantly there.
Alicia.
Alicia.
Down by the electric lake.
What are you talking about?
More like Alicia.
No,
Album
that's,
31.
That's
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Come play with me. Play in this space.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember the names either. I listened to the episode like 2 months ago, but then I didn't do the WebQuest stuff until like yesterday. So.
Wilson Knox sounds like such a superhero universe character.
It does very much so. You're correct.
Every time I hear it, I'm like, either he's about to fight a criminal or he's about to team up with Wilson Fisk.
The Wilson crew.
The Wilson Square.
The Willies.
They give us the Willies. Ooh, that's a catchphrase.
Because
like a Rick and Morty
it's the 40s. It's the 40s. They'll come and give you the Willies as they swindle your money.
That was a good John Mulaney impersonation.
Thank you.
Okay, so in this episode, we get to hear Wilson giving a sermon, and and it's basically just like an entire illustration sermon, except for its real story. And there's also an illustration. He finds like a toy in the parking lot. I'm not 100% convinced if he just found, maybe he planted it. We don't know.
No, it is a kid's toy, but it wasn't broken. He saw it down there, and he just like, he crushed it under his heel. He was like, oh look, object.
Irresponsible child.
He steps was like, oh look, an object lesson. How serendipitous.
We're gonna fix his toy. Like, now, I like to think that the toy's like barely broken. Maybe just like a little piece fell off,
the battery fell out. Oh no, the
hatch opened and that's it. He's like, now you might think this is unfixable, and someone yells, actually you just close it. Shut up.
Oh no, it won't turn on because there's this little paper slip separating the battery terminal. But when
somehow Wilson put it back in.
It's not that hard.
Made it not work. Yes it is.
You just take the battery out, put the paper on the battery, and push them both in together.
I want to try that, but I just like the Advent gift that had one.
Well, the candles would be a little difficult, yes.
Yeah, I have one candle that I haven't taken the thing out of yet, but I don't want to take it out yet.
Why?
Because it's a 2-pack and I only need one right now.
But just turn it off.
No. Part of my brain's like, it preserves the battery.
By keeping it turned on?
No, by keeping it turned off with the paper inside.
It's on, though. The switch is in the on position.
I've been lied to my whole life. What? Where are we?
He's doing a sermon. There's a broken toy.
No, I meant, like, in the world.
Oh, I see.
So then he starts telling a story about a girl that he met named Alicia, who has a father in prison, and she has like a very strained relationship with him because he got into a lot of stuff when she was younger. He was arrested when I think she was about 7 or 8. And then because of that, they've had like a really strained relationship, and it's just gotten worse and worse as time went on. She did become a Christian when she was a little bit older, because our favorite boy Juan shows up, and he has a family, and what?
Wait, that was Juan?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah. Where were you?
I had no idea.
Yeah, because he was just like, I know you've had a really hard life. I know it can be like hard. And she's like, you know nothing about my life. I was like, don't you dare talk to him that way. I got upset. I was just like, he lost people in his life too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he has like a granddaughter, and I was just like, ah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I know.
I had no
I
idea.
can't believe you didn't pick up on that. They're like, hey, Juan, I'm gonna go this...
Hui Juan.
Hey, Juan.
No, you said Juan.
Yeah, I can't talk. I'm
Uh-huh.
so tired. I was up till past 6, and so I slept until almost 1 because I couldn't fall asleep last night. My life is a wreck. Okay,
You really need to go on vacation.
I do. I'm going on vacation in
One more
2
day.
days.
One more day.
Okay. I just have
What
to
else
finish
happens in this
math
episode?
by now tonight. Okay, so Alicia becomes a Christian, and then her and Wilson, I almost said Jack, go to prison, and this is all through like a charity that's helping out. Also, Angel Tree is mentioned at one point.
That's what the whole episode's about, yes.
Wait, no, I thought it was something else.
No, it's
There
Angel
was
Tree.
Another charity was mentioned.
Nope.
Other than Angel.
Nope,
Never
but this is
mind.
all about Angel
It's-
Tree.
I knew that.
Yep.
And so they go there to the prison, and then she decides that she's just gonna cut the dad out of her life and just basically yell at him. And then Wilson's like, "How about you don't do that? 'Cause for all these reasons." And she's just like, I'll think about it. And then her dad comes out and she's like, "I hate you," and then she leaves. And then he's like, "Wait, before you leave, like, I'm a Christian now, I'm getting help and stuff." She's like, interesting. And then she leaves, and then it cuts back to present day Wilson, and he's just like, yeah, they still have a lot of issues to work on, but like, ooh, this toy, ooh, it's an airplane. Ah. And then he's just like, yeah, we'll see where they go with things one day. If anyone wants the toy, come up and get it from me afterwards. And then the episode ends, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the first time that we've heard Wilson preach, so it's nice that we finally get to hear him in his element. It's the second episode about the Angel Tree Project, which is cool, especially since the last episode of the podcast we did was Electric Christmas, which was also about Angel Tree Project, which is wild, and of course they did an episode about it way back when with Where's Your Daddy?
Where Daddy be? Alternate title.
Yeah. I really did not write much about this episode. So we go into like double flashback. We start like really inceptioning things as like Wilson's like, let me tell you about when I was in prison and I was talking to Alicia, and then she was telling me extra more flashbacks about the past, and then we have to keep on going back.
A box narrative, viewers.
Thank you, Victoria.
You can see it in such works as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which has up to, 3 narrative levels of text. There is the guy who has the boat, Frankenstein, and then the creature. Also,
in Homestuck, which has a lot more than that levels.
Go away.
So... yeah, I thought it was interesting. I really liked the tree narrative about believing, about like, oh, I'm just like doing it and doing the stuff, and then one day it was just there that the kid said. And then I thought it was interesting how Alicia's like, oh, I'm a believer now, and that's why I won't forgive him, because I got to like punish him for his evil actions.
I was just kind of sitting there, I was like, girl, I don't understand your reasoning at all.
And then Wilson is, unsurprisingly, very much the person to solely for the drama pull out a calculator just to do 70 times 7. Be like, oh, that's interesting. So that's what it is.
I don't get, like, the per year thing.
Well, because he knew how many years it had been. Because it was easier to just figure, like, how many times a year times how many years has it been to figure out the total number.
Yeah, but why 70 times 7 each year?
No, it wasn't each year. It was overall.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
What is 70 times 7 again?
490.
Oh, okay.
Well, because my whole point here was that Wilson is pulling out the calculator to do it just for the drama, because obviously it's an incredibly easy math equation that no one would ever need a calculator for.
I have too many pockets.
That's not something you hear very often. Um, yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to say about this episode. It was a very sweet and straightforward story. It's interesting to me when we get these stories that are basically like standalone, separate things from anyone we know. Since Wilson was basically only the medium for the narrative here. Apparently Juan was also in it, but I didn't pick up on that at all.
That girl that was with him, the little girl.
I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was there too.
Yeah.
He
there was like this guy with her.
Yeah, it was Juan.
I didn't realize that. It felt very family portraits to me, this episode, in that regard. That
I can totally see that.
It felt very much like its own thing, and I do hope that we get to hear more of Wilson's sermons going forward, especially because I like the way that I like Gregory Jabara's voice for one, but I also just like the way that Wilson words himself when he talks, and so I want to hear more from him in like a public speaking setting, because we get a lot of him just in like kind of personal preaching and chiding thus far, mostly chiding wit.
He was like, I have one story. I'm like, you liar. Every single time we see you, it's a different story. And he's like, and I'm not funny or fun to be around. Who is this man? Who is this changeling who's taken his place?
Oh, it's David Parker's changeling is spreading. It's infecting more people. No.
It's making everyone OOC.
Yeah. It's the ook virus.
The most dangerous type of fae, the ook.
I've never heard anyone say it out loud before, like OOC.
I haven't either, and I feel cursed.
I hate it, yeah.
I feel like you just put a curse on me.
A fake curse on you.
I've been cursed by the fae.
By the ook.
By the ook. By a human, which is even more despicable. I can't even have a fae put a curse on me. It's a human putting a... It's so lame.
It was a nice story, and I really like that it didn't just end with like, oh, the dad becomes a Christian, a big hug, everything's good forever.
The only thing I really have to say about the episodes is about that.
I always appreciate like an inspirational story that's courageous enough to end in a tough place. Not one that's just like, oh, that was super depressing because the world is bleak, but one that ends in like, there's like hope and there's positive sides, but it ends in a tough place. I definitely, don't like the media trying to making everything as bleak as possible always, but when it comes specifically to the genre of story that aims itself at helping others through relatability, we need a diverse selection of outcomes to reflect the situations that we face. And I still think that the ending of Homecoming, when Tom is unable to forgive Richard, was a wonderful and very important writing choice, and not just because of the repercussions that it would have in album 25.
I was listening to the ending, and I was like, okay, I totally understand why she didn't do it, and I think it's more realistic that way, and I think like that's how it should have ended. But I was feeling kind of sad at the time, so I was just like, man, I wish I had a Hallmark ending there where they just made up and then a firefighter walked in.
Switched bodies with her identical twin sister, who's also played by what's her face.
And then the firefighter comes in. He's like, "Oh no, the Christmas tree!" It's in the apartment.
Sorry, my big oil executive position, the promotion I was up for. But you've shown me,
Christmas bird.
Dad. You showed me such a lesson here at Christmas prison. The prison for Christmas crimes.
It turns out I was the Christmas prisoner the entire time.
Yes.
On the inside.
Yeah. That's the title. Oh, we're so good at this. And that is a Christmas to me.
How you make a
That is a Christmas to me.
It is Christmas to me.
Oh, good gravy. And then we had the video doc. It was all focused on media bits from Angel Tree. There's this really good testimonial from a guy who's talking about how he like never celebrated Christmas growing up at all, and he really got to experience it for the first time with his daughter. And which was also the first time he got to see her in years and was able to like reconcile with her through it and stuff, like building gingerbread men and stuff like that. It was really beautiful. I also learned from this, and this ties into the second part of this episode, that a Braille Bible is so large, it's usually a set of 20 to 40 encyclopedia-sized volumes that weigh about 40 kilograms in total, or 88 pounds.
That would suck if, like, you want to go to service and they're like, okay, bring your Bible, and you just have, like, a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, it would bring, like, a whole different paradigm to, like, sword draws. Man.
Like, bring your sword, the spirit, and you just huck an encyclopedia.
Or 40.
Yeah. You just put them in, like, a catapult.
It costs like $600 US to print them.
I was going to say to buy all of them.
And that lends way more weight to the fact that I think it was in the first part of the Ruth review that Gabe brought up the fact that, like, Wit has a full set, like a Braille Bible in the library at Wit's End, and we're like, oh yeah, that's cool that he has accessibility.
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, he also owns a publishing company.
I think you're going to say, granted, he's the richest man on earth.
Yes.
Probably under Scrooge McDuck, because Scrooge McDuck is the richest thing in existence.
Yeah.
As proven by the fact that, like,
it's Scrooge
no
McDuck,
other character's richer than him.
Scrooge
in
McDuck,
anything.
T'Challa, and then Wit.
It's like Scrooge McDuck, someone Batman, someone on, like, the actual, like, people actually did the math and they took, like, all the
T'Challa's way richer than Batman.
Okay, then Scrooge McDuck, T'Challa, Batman.
Yes.
Wit.
Yeah. I think Iron Man is richer than Batman, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he might be too.
Anyways. Man, I can't wait for Scrooge McDuck to show up in Infinity War. Wow, good joke, Devin. That was so early 2018.
I can't wait for Scrooge McDuck to show up in Smash Bros.
Yeah. There we go.
More topical.
That is a much more topical. Thank you,
Even
Victoria.
though it came out several days ago. So,
Yeah.
DLC.
Close enough, yeah. I mean, hey,
if Sora shows up, he's Disney, so Scrooge can show up.
Sora's not in Smash.
I mean, lots of people think he's gonna be. I saw the argument that, like, if Joker can get in.
Well, exactly, yeah, because he's never been on a Nintendo console.
Apparently, I saw a thing that said some old Persona games were on the DS or something like that.
That's a stretch.
But
Different games in the same series.
Yeah. I have to play Persona 5.
Yeah. So, well, finish your essay tomorrow, and then you can't. Or test, whatever, final. So, yeah, they're very expensive, so it's really cool that it has a full set, not just for the price, because he probably just published them, so he gets them, but just, like, the size, that is huge, literally and figuratively. Which means that when Connie casually says, like, oh, here's a Braille Bible for you, Jenny, what she probably meant...
Here's a Braille set!
It's like in The Great Wishy-Wise when he has, like, the wagon full of, like, all the tomes of, like, the entirety breadth of human knowledge. What she probably meant more specifically was, here's probably, like, the Joshua/Ruth tome of the Braille Bible for you, Jenny.
Or maybe they just didn't know when they wrote it that...
I mean, it's perfectly plausible, so I can take canon that it makes sense.
I totally assumed it was just one book.
I assumed it was one book as well, but you know what? It makes the same amount of sense either way, so why not let it be fine? Also, I really like this. The story of the lady who started Angel Tree was pretty cool because she was a super famous bank robber and safecracker who was on the FBI's most wanted list. And she was serving 21 years in prison in Alabama for 35 charges and 11 federal indictments. And she became a Christian. She was paroled 6 years into her sentence, and then she was approached by Prison Fellowship to spearhead new stuff for their Christmas ministry. And she thought about how the prisoners could usually only give their kids, like, commissary items and stuff. They're like, here's, like, a little, like, tube of toothpaste, or, like, here's a hotel soap bar, like, mini soap bar and stuff like that. And how the kids were, like, so amazed to be getting, like, anything like that from their parents just because of the thought behind it. And that's why she was like, Angel Tree.
That's cool. She sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. They were like, she was a criminal. I was like, oh, that makes sense. And they're like, she was on the FBI's most wanted list. It was like safe cracking and bank robbery. I'm like, that's super cool.
Not that we're promoting
We're
that.
absolutely endorsing like larceny and grand crime things.
I'm
Yes.
still not completely sure what larceny
Neither
is.
am I, but
the
it sounded like
thing
it
is,
fit.
Stephanie Beatrix knows. She knows
Beatrice.
everything.
Beatrice. Yes. So that was the
She knows.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we gotta rate it.
I'll give it 4 out of 5.
I'll give it like a 3.5.
It was like a solid, Wilson stuff aside, I'm glad that we got to hear him preach. And if that was Juan, the same Juan, super cool.
It was.
How do you know, though?
Because he said his name.
So there's more than one person named Juan Victoria.
He has the
it's
same
kind
voice
of a
actor.
common name. Okay, I will check and we'll see if it's the same.
I'll check right now.
And I will check as I'm talking. It was like a good story, and I liked the way that it ended. Sorry for the noise. This will sound terrible.
You put beyond noise.
Sorry for the repair.
Oh, what's this? I was right?
Oh, he was also in... Wait, he was in part 1 of The Ties That Bind?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember that. Oh, right, because Buck. Yes, I remember now.
I don't remember why, but I did remember he was...
Yeah, because he was like Buck's person.
I
Yeah. Huh, well, that's neat.
I told you, but you didn't believe me. You had to
Nope.
check.
Yep.
Does this make up for you being disappointed
It
in
does.
me constantly?
It does.
Yes.
You've earned back several points of approval.
Ooh, that's all that matters to me. That means I won't cry myself to sleep tonight for that reason specifically.
Yes, it will be more likely stress
Yeah.
tears from essay writing.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it as like its own like pretty self-contained thing. It was good.
Yeah.
And Juan was in it, in case you guys didn't realize.
I thought it was an above average episode. It was good. I liked the
4.3.
characters.
I'm upping it because they
in
brought
it.
Juan back for it, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Juan, I was like really happy that he was there. Honestly, he was probably the highlight for me just because I'm a fan. I really like him. Every time.
I mean, it's all I could think about while I was listening to it.
I can tell. Yeah. Where would we have been if you would have re-listened to the episode and you would have been like...
I mean, maybe. I was doing other stuff when I listened to it.
You wouldn't have even noticed the second listen, actually, probably. I actually, paid complete attention to the episode.
Apparently, I'm very proud of you.
I remembered a lot more than I thought I did. At one point, I was just like, oh, maybe I should just listen to half now and half later. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of into this episode. I'm kind of digging this. So I'm going to let the episode finish. And then I just kind of sat there and let it finish. And it was good. What? Lots of the time when I'm bored with an episode, I just go on Tumblr and stuff. But I wasn't on Tumblr that day. I ruined it. But, yeah, I was able to pay better attention.
That's good.
So I thought it was a good episode. I don't really have anything specific to say about it. I just think everything was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Did you give it a number yet?
I said 3.5.
Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about Ruth. Part 2 of Ruth. 3 funerals and a wedding. Rough. Up on the roof. Yeah. We're up on the rough top.
We get to talk about the crane thing.
Yeah, and Zarabeth.
But Boaz though.
Yeah,
the two Ruth reviews we did are I think they're my favorite reviews we've ever done.
I'm glad it's finally
podcast.
coming out.
Me too.
Now, I've been waiting for so long. This file's been on my desktop since September.
I actually want to play these 2.5 episodes for people and be like, that's me, the one with the dumb jokes.
That's me, the one who looks like me.
I mean, they might not be looking at the video. They might only be listening to the audio, for all you know.
Okay, let's talk about Ruth. We got a lot to cover because we got predictions after that. I don't think... No, we didn't wrap up the end of the episode when we did that. Okay, so let's talk about 3 Funerals and a Wedding Part 2 with special guest Gabriella.
I found Clerval.
So, we're here. Gabe is back with us, guys.
Hello.
She's back again. It's almost like it's the same day as the last.
Found her.
Same hair, same outfit.
After being taken away.
Sucked through the time vortex.
The other episode.
We're back to talk about episode 361, 3 Funerals and a Wedding, Part 2. Also, obviously, written by Phil.
Oh, right.
Yeah, what happens in Part 2?
Yeah. So, in this episode...
sorry. I'll say this right now because I should have said this after Part 1. So this, I'll say it at the beginning of this one, so it bridges it together. There's only one thing in the guide for this episode, which is behind the scenes, 3 Funerals and a Wedding. A few listeners wrote in questioning why we chose to base an episode name on the R-rated 1994 film 4 Funerals and 4 Weddings and a Funeral. The episode, however, does not reference the movie, only the title, and we thought the name was too perfect to pass up, which it is. Even though technically there's 3 funerals and 3 weddings in this episode.
Yeah, that's always bothered me. I was always like, it should be 3 weddings and 3 funerals.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be the movie, so.
That's weird that people wrote in. But I guess if there's anything we've learned about Odyssey, people complain over the smallest of things.
That is the biggest takeaway, yes.
So...
I think that's just life, though.
People probably just
the fans for this show, though, the constituents of Focus take it to a whole other level of uptight. But... so, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
So this one opens up right where the last one stopped off, with an undetermined amount of time later at the Bible study. And they're about to start, and then Connie's just like, oh man, the only 2 people I actually cared about being here aren't here. And everyone's like, I don't
care about you other plebes.
Thanks a lot, Connie. I like how the other people in the room get, 2 lines throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
Like, they're not actually there. Whenever it cuts back to them, I like thinking about the fact that there are a bunch of people in the room who are apparently unable to talk or not allowed to talk. I like to imagine before Connie and Jenny actually showed up, Connie said, if they show up, none of you are allowed talking, so I can impart extra knowledge onto them.
We need retention. I need these guys to feel welcome so they come back, so no one else is allowed to speak.
I will kick you out if you talk.
Also, from my perspective, I don't know, because I haven't listened to everything. Like, they don't have names to me, they're just random voices.
Yeah.
So, also, they're the only named people who are in the Bible study.
It's true, yeah. We have no... But think, Victoria, anyone else could have been there. We don't know if Jason was in there, was Dr. Regis Blackard in there?
Was Jay in there before he was born?
A very young Matthew Parker was in that Bible study.
What if Wellington was there?
Jared and Trent Dwight were
There's
both there.
So many possibilities.
And Mr. Bennett Charles.
The director was there.
And Dr. Hawthorne.
But
it's okay, they were all J anyways, so...
Buck and Mr. Skink were there.
Both of them, yeah, in disguise.
Jules was there, even though she wasn't born yet.
And Connie was like, hey, random person I don't know, and who definitely isn't my illegitimate stepsister I don't know
From
about.
the future, because you're not born yet. How are you today?
I love
Don't
this show.
talk only Jenny and Courtney are allowed
Courtney.
to talk.
Imagine how bad Connie felt years later when she found out she had a sister who years ago attended her own Bible study, but she didn't know about it because
Jules could have become a Christian right then and there, but she ruined it.
Everything bad that's ever happened to
possibilities.
Jules is now Connie's fault. Sorry, Bill, you're off the hook. Okay,
No. Okay.
we already talked about the Kane thing
Yeah.
last time,
So.
and the fact that Jenny apparently has a brother.
The summary.
Here's what I think. I think that they adopted Jenny's brother since they moved to Odyssey, and that's why she now has a brother who is in the age bracket that would make this make sense.
Okay. They adopted a mean little boy who steals canes.
Or a mean older boy. You have to be at least tall enough to use something as a pool cue. You at least have to be like...
He's probably younger than me. So...
Well, yes, I imagine so. I imagine
little.
he's not legally an adult.
He is little
Otherwise,
boy.
they wouldn't have adopted him.
You don't know that. You don't know the adoption
We've adopted
laws in
a
Odyssey.
young 19-year-old.
Actually, you do know the adoption laws because I've explained them quite frequently. Lots of people get adopted in this show. Anyway, so the summary. So, are you okay? You look like you're praying for strength.
Yeah.
Which is like your default face
It
in
is.
this podcast. So,
That's what I look like in most of the thumbnails when YouTube randomly grabs a frame of me throughout the entire episode.
but like,
It's statistically
isn't
likely to come up.
Isn't it accurate though?
Well, yes, because that's why it's statistically
Yes.
likely.
Yeah, so I'm right. Anyway, so, summary of this episode. I don't even want to do it anymore. It's been so long. So, they come to the Bible study and they continue the story. Ruth is now... Where were they from again? I keep on forgetting.
Moab.
No, the other place.
Aren't they?
Israel? You mean their tribe?
I wasn't sure if it was like a more specific place.
Well, if they're from the tribe of Benjamin. They said, well, no, sorry, they were from Bethlehem.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're
Sorry.
I thought
'cause
it was Bethlehem.
It's interesting. I thought it sounded like Connie said, and I didn't go back to rewind, that she was like, Elimelech was from the tribe of Benjamin. I'm like, that cannot be right. He's from the tribe of Judah. I had the confusion that I thought it said he was an Ephraimite when we read it, but it was saying he was an Ephrathite because they were from Bethlehem. Because I was like, that can't be right. He has to be from the tribe of Judah, because then they're going to carry on the family line down to Obed, Jesse, David, and Jesus. So obviously it has to be Judah. And they're all like,
he's
blessings on you, like Perez and Tamar.
Yeah, I don't see anything about him being
But they're from
the tribe
Bethlehem.
of Benjamin. They're from Bethlehem and Judah,
Yes.
and they're not from the tribe of Benjamin.
No, because
Yeah,
that
I
would
was-
make no sense.
Wondering about that too, but I just didn't. Okay.
Okay, summary. The entire episode
Not
is just
allowed.
going to be me trying to do the summary.
Don't
So,
Don't
they-
act like that when usually this is the first time the shoe has been on this foot. Normally
It's
the shoe is on
horrible.
the other foot. We only have the one shoe to share because we made a deal with someone and now we're walking around like on off kilter because we don't bring 3 sandals with us everywhere we go.
Like a common-minded, sensed person.
Yes.
I don't know what I said. Okay, so Naomi and Ruth go to Benjamin.
Bethlehem.
Yeah. Can you do the summary? We're just swapping
Is that
out
me or
summary.
Devin?
Gabe, you can do the summary.
Okay, so they go back, and the crazy cousin
Oren.
appears. Yeah, I was like, I can't remember his name because it's not in the Bible.
That's valid.
Yeah, Oren comes and he's like, oh hey, you're back. Oh, but before then, because I'm great at summaries, everyone's like, it's Naomi, she's back. That's awesome. Wait, where's your husband? And she's like, it's just me and my daughter now, and I'm not Naomi. Call me Mara.
She's like, new phone, who dis? And then she, like, walks away
Except
like
backwards, because she's like, new phone, who I.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, Naomi's daughters? No, it's not Naomi. And yes, and then, anywho, so Oran comes and is like, I'll help you because I'm a good person who wants your land. So you can come and glean in my fields. If your husband had had the foresight to give me your lands, you could have gleaned in your own fields, but oh well, I'll let you into my field. At which point, Naomi turned to Mara as like, you think I'm an idiot? You think I'm not smart to know that you've just been trying to steal our land this whole time, and you think you can get it just because my husband's gone? Think again. We'll go and glean in some other field, as long as it's not yours. So they go, and they go home, and Ruth is like, hey, wait, we need food though, so I'm gonna go glean. And Naomi's like, you're too good. I love you so. And then, so Ruth goes, and she goes into the field, and whose field does she end up in? But our boy Boaz, who is not
a Disney prince.
He's a very old man.
Yeah.
He has no longer choice, sadly. He has passed his choice prime. But he is evidently still choice enough to be able to produce a son, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Can we quickly...
No, we don't need to explain. If they want to understand, they can read their own Bibles.
But it's got to be the same translation as yours,
I
because
know.
mine definitely did not use the word choice.
Like-
And not
didn't
even the same
either.
book of the Bible that we're talking about. Whatever.
You're just going to have to read it all.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only mentioned us going through 3 books.
I'm clickbaiting people to reading the whole Bible. See, I'm encouraging them to study more.
Okay, so she's gleaning, and as this goes on, she's working hard. And then Boaz comes along, and he's like, I heard Naomi's back, to his servant that I
Foreman,
forgot
yes.
the name of.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Ah,
Caleb's
Caleb,
like-
my foreman and my friend. I've heard this
Yes.
episode a lot of times.
So Caleb's like, yeah, she came back and she brought her daughter-in-law, Ruth.
And then
I was like,
Boaz
okay,
pulls out a
I should go
stool
meet
out
them.
of nowhere and sits down. He's like, tell me more.
What if
Basically.
What if Boaz had those chair pants that
Wait,
are like
what are you talking
they're
about?
like pants?
You sit and you don't have to sit on anything.
Wait, I've never seen... I'm looking up a picture.
Yeah, look it
I
up.
need to know what this
Granted,
is.
that would mean in order to allow Limelech to sit down, you have to like rip him off of his butt and like prop it up
They're
underneath.
tearaway chair pants. And it's like Back to the,
The height-
Future. They
The
shrink
height
to
of
fit.
fashion, the height of fashion, tear away chair pants. Or seat pants, whatever they're called.
Aren't they wearing robes?
That doesn't matter.
He's
They're
wearing them
wearing
under.
them
That's
under
why
the
it's a
robes.
surprise. You
That's
can't
why
see them
it's a
under his robe. Yeah.
surprise.
Okay.
And Orn was like, "Have you no chair pants for me, Boaz?"
I can't
So it's like-
find them. Oh, I spelled chair
Did you
wrong.
s-
I was
She wrote
laughing.
share.
Chair?
She wrote share pants.
I was laughing
Share?
and I typoed.
Anyways, sorry. Gabe.
Well, Victoria looks for that. So Boaz is like,
Oh my gosh.
a daughter?
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
They're just like a straight line down from your butt.
This
like the two
person
legs.
just has, like...
I have seen these two though. It wasn't what I was thinking of. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. Those are fake
Wait.
though. Go on, Gabe.
Okay. So Boaz is like, a daughter-in-law? I should go visit them. And then immediately after, or maybe not quite immediately, it's like, wait, who's that chick in the field? And it's like, Caleb's like, oh yeah, that is Ruth, the one you wanted to see. She's been working really hard. She barely takes any breaks. And she works as hard as the regular workers. She's just a really great person. And yeah, she's doing it all for Naomi.
Sorry,
And
Gabe, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before I forget, we have to talk later about how strong and buff Ruth is. It is
I
very
forgot.
important.
I
We'll talk
completely
about that once we
forgot
get to that
about
part,
this.
but we need to talk about that.
she's a hard worker.
Yeah,
And
she
then-
is.
You gotta get buff somehow.
This is why they want
So
to go
Boaz
get
is
Moabite
like-
woman.
Okay, we're gonna help her. Caleb, do this. And then Caleb's like, okay, got it, going off. And he's like, but wait, we gotta do this also. And he's like, okay. And it's like, but wait, more, and but wait. And so we're gonna do lots of things for Ruth. to
Yes,
make sure
master.
she's doing.
Yes, master.
That
Yes,
part
master.
reminds
Yes,
me
master.
of the Swan Princess cartoon, and
Mm.
Derek, like, at the ball right before, like, the Odette's gonna come to and stuff. He's like, we need to have this, but make it look like a swan. And then he says that about, like, literally every single thing in the room. And he's like, do this, but more swan-like. And he grabs food.
Is this at
and
the
he-
beginning or the end? I can't
This is
remember.
towards the end. And he's
So
just like, do you
basically
think a
he's like-
swan would want to eat this? And he, like, throws it at someone.
So he basically wants to remind Odette of her like traumatic experiences at every possible turn.
Yeah, he's like, get white flowers, you know, the color of a swan. And I'm like,
Thanks,
dude, calm down.
I think I know what white is, thanks, but
Oh, and then he's like, but don't let her know that it's like, do it in secret, like pretend it's not, like it's just happening by fluke, and also don't let her know it's me. And at this point I'm like, oh yes, this is why Victoria was like, as the entire, every mention of Boaz in the Book of Ruth was like, my Disney prince! I'm like, oh yes, I see it now.
I was gonna bring that up at some point, but thank you for.
I brought it up first.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
the fact that I would yell it every 2
Oh,
seconds.
yeah, no.
Literally
No, I
every mention of the name Boaz, it was like, my prince! I'm like, okay.
He's a good
Okay.
boy.
Because he doesn't do much in the Bible, but he does a lot more now, so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I like to imagine that the subtle way the workers drop grain, like they're like, we can't let her know it's on purpose. So it's a very like kind of thing, except like their hand is full of grain, so they'll turn around and be like, but when they cough, they're like splattering
Ew.
grain shoots out of their head. And Ruth is like,
No! And Boaz is like, get out of my field.
you're fired.
No, I just
You're not
imagine like they're walking and then they pretend to trip even though there's like no rocks and the ground is completely flat.
Oh,
And then they
no.
accidentally drop
just
like
everything
their
spills.
entire thing that they're carrying and they're like, oh no, it's like all on the ground. Boaz is gonna be so upset. And then he like picks it up to like get all like makes it look like he's gonna get the grain back in, but then he just upturns it and he shakes it so all the grain falls out and he's just like, oh no, and he puts it on and he walks away.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He says
Uh-oh.
as he's reaching his hand in to get the stuff out of the bottom and dropping on the ground.
Uh-oh.
Oops. Oops.
Oh, the worst is put that back in the oven because it's grain.
It needs, because it needs to cook a little more, yeah.
Gabe, I showed you that. Remember Monster Factory when Griffin
Mass Effect.
altered
Yeah,
the
we watched
numbers
that.
and then the guy's jaw was like super long?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's yelling, uh-oh, whoa-oh, a bunch of times.
With Gabe here, we're pulling back the curtain on all our obscure internet references.
I got more of the image of like, you have your basket and it's just like, oh shoot, it has a hole. I definitely didn't poke it myself.
Oh no, there's a hole in my basket, dear Liza, dear Liza.
And then Ruth's like, there isn't a hole, and they're like, oh wait, and they grab a knife and they stab it a bunch of times, and then they're like, oh, and they put it back and they're like, there's a hole, and Ruth is like, everyone here is so weird, but like,
I'm going back to Moab.
I get so much food though, so I have to stay, but they're all so weird.
So then she's gleaning and then the bell rings and it's like break time. And then she just goes to get some water and the ladies are like,
Like mean
why
girls.
are you getting water? That's definitely not something that everyone needs to sustain themselves. You don't deserve water.
And they're
Because
like,
you're from
wait,
Moab and we
you're
are
from
racist.
Moab, but you're white. That's me whenever I watch Hollywood
Sarah Beth,
adaptations
you can't
of
just
love
ask
stories.
people when they're white.
They're like, wait, you're Esther? But why are you white?
Oh. No, it's funny because literally like the first scene where she's at high school in Mean Girls, she compares it to like animals gathering around the watering hole and fighting, which is like 50% to what this is here. I mean, they are like gathering it out in jars and stuff, but still. Yeah, they're pretty vicious.
Yeah, and then Boaz comes and like, what are you guys doing? We're all made by God.
Zarabeth.
Hey, Zarabeth, heard you were insulting my future wife. Want to talk about that a little bit more?
It's like, doesn't the law say that anyone can glean that's a poor, a widow, and a stranger? Isn't she literally all three of them?
Can't you see
Isn't
how
she,
poor
like-
she is, Zarabeth?
She's so
Doesn't she have
foreign
more
and
qualifications for
and
this
she's
than
such
you?
a woman.
And a widow. Look how dead her husband is, Zarabeth. Show a little decorum.
He's been dead for over 10 years, maybe. We're not exactly sure.
He's been dead for between 0 and 10 years, Zarabeth.
And so he's like, yeah, you know what? You come and eat lunch with us. Like, and gives her more food than she can even eat.
It's just like, please
If
stop, Boaz, please.
He says to Ruth, he's like, come with this, but you can't wear pink, you have to wear tearaway chair pants. We only wear tearaway chair pants on Fridays. Or Wednesdays, I don't remember.
So Ruth goes home with a whole ton of grain. I guess it's barley at this point in the year.
Like an actual ton. Yes, it was barley.
Like-
I remember very specifically
No,
it was barley.
It was when... Yeah, because the barley engine, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Okay, so she comes home with a whole bunch of barley and some leftover lunch and shares it with Naomi.
And Naomi's
And
like,
she's-
holy crap,
Holy-
Ruth.
How can you carry
Where did
that
you get
much?
all this stuff? Are you a thief now? But she didn't actually say that.
Are you
I would be
Zarya
thinking,
from
like,
Overwatch also? Because this is like 150 pounds of barley.
I understand that reference.
Oh, that's good.
No, I don't.
Okay.
That was sarcasm.
I understand that reference.
And that's all
what
that matters.
I said it. I wouldn't have like picked an Overwatch character to represent a buff woman if it was just you here. But I was like, Gabe will know what I'm talking about.
How about
Yeah.
Fang from Dave the Barbarian in that one episode where she got really strong?
Or Marinette Dupan Chang in any episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Naomi's like, that's nuts. You should go there. You might as well go there.
And she
every
said,
day
no,
now."
this is
So-
not nuts, it's barley.
and she's like, go back to Moab.
Yeah, you should go glean there every time because, like, you'll be taken care of. So she does, and time passes. We go through the barley and then to the wheat, and then they get to know each other, they being Ruth and Boaz. He continues to be Victoria's Disney prince, but actually Ruth's. And then a day comes and Naomi's like, Ruth, you probably want to get married, hey? And Ruth's like, no, I want to stay with you.
And she's like, but I'm so old. And she's like, I love old people. It's like that line in Jupiter Ascending. It's like, I love old people. I've always loved old people. But like, I love dogs. I've always loved
Yeah,
dogs.
I got the reference.
Yeah. No, I'm telling Gabe.
So,
That movie's so bad.
and Naomi's like,
That's so good.
I know you want to marry Boaz. And Ruth's like, oh, shoot, I found out. And then
She read my diary.
Ruth just really likes food, and Boaz just has a lot of food to give.
Hey, sometimes that's a valid reason to marry someone.
And
I
there's
like
like sometimes the more expensive things
Are better.
Okay,
Because food is
So-
expensive and it's good.
that's true.
Naomi's like, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna wait until he's gonna be on the threshing floor, threshing.
You're gonna wait till he's drunk and you're gonna propose.
You're gonna wait till he falls asleep, and then you're gonna lift up the blanket by his feet, and you're gonna sleep there. At which point, Connie's friends are like, wait, what the heck? And we find out that that's an old tradition that basically is proposing.
It's like the,
And
what's
It's a very, very forward way of proposing.
Sadie Hawkins? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it sounds
Sadie
like that
Hawkins'
is
proposal.
specifically what that is. Because she's like, because we don't have any men to arrange a proposal, so you just have to go sleep at his feet.
Yeah.
I like how Ruth is even like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ruth, with a little bit of like, okay, goes and does that, and yeah, it doesn't say that he's drunk. He's definitely drunk though.
No, I want to argue that he is drunk, because when he wakes up, he's like, oh, what, Ruth? And then he's like, wait, Ruth.
I like how in this episode,
What?
like, he wakes up because he's like, ah, and she's like, ah.
Yeah. So he wakes up and is like, whoa, you're there. And she's like, please cover me with your cloak and then marry me. And he's like, but I'm old. Like, I really like you, but like,
I'm so old.
are you sure? And
No,
she's
he's
like,
old,
I love you,
bones.
Boaz. And he's like, you're too good. You're so, like, you took care of Naomi, and now you're gonna marry me even though I'm old. Like, you're so wonderful.
Yeah, he literally, at first, he assumes that she's, like, making this sacrifice to marry him and stuff.
I don't know why, but my brain is equating, like, him being so much older to her than her, like, Jane Eyre and Rochester, except for Ruth is clearly a lot older than Jane Eyre is. And
Orrin's the one who gets locked in the attic.
and like Boaz isn't a horrible garbage man like Rochester is. Anyone who disagrees with me, bring it.
They're gonna have to fight a lot of people if you think Rochester is a good person.
No, she
But,
said Boaz is good.
No,
unlike
I said
Rochester.
Boaz is
Oh.
good. Rochester is a garbage man. If anyone disagrees with me, they can fight it out with me in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, so we are at proposal. Oh, yes. And then he's like, oh, shoot. But there's this other guy who is ahead of me. Like, if for, like, Kinsman Redeemer, we have to go and make sure. Like, I want to marry you, but, like, by law, he has first, like,
He's
dibs,
got
I
dibs.
guess. Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, okay. And he's like, okay, we'll sort this out.
He's
And
like,
also,
there's
it's that
that
cousin
really
that no one
important
likes.
rule of first dibs
Yeah,
that can't be broken.
yeah, that's like the first Mosaic law. That's commandment number 0.
And it just says, like, dibs must be honored.
That's on the back of the 10 Commandments inside the Ark of the Covenant, yeah.
Side note, I really appreciate that you started. It's the first one. It's 0. I'm like, yes, programming.
No, I hate 0-point numericals so much. It's the worst. Trying to position, like, trying to logically think in your head where you're going to cut off, like, a string or something like that when you're using 0-point number systems. Ugh, I hate it.
Yeah, but if it ends in \n, it's fine because the \, like, the string is the number of characters and the \n is the number after, so it works out anyway.
Okay, well, I didn't have any \n's when I was doing it, so it was just annoying.
Or not \n, \0. It's been a while since I've done C++.
It's been a while since I've done any coding.
I cut strings when I make crafts.
Sorry. So they go, and Boaz is like, "Hey, I'm gonna call a meeting. Bring out your extra sandal if you don't want to go home barefoot, but only one barefoot." I don't know if they actually do bring extra sandals, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, like...
I mean, no, that was definitely not earlier. That was definitely several days. No.
Boaz
If
is,
you
like,
need to-
in such a hurry to go talk to Oren, he forgets to bring his chair pants.
If you need to make a deal with, like, 3 people, what do? Like, do you...
Like a
You have to make a
Brazilian.
deal with someone else beforehand.
Oh, yeah, you have to get their sandals so then you can give it to someone else.
Yeah.
It's like...
Like, they talk about going to, like, the place where deals are done, so I feel like if you know you're going to that place, yeah, you could probably bring an extra sandal.
It's
Do
like
you
a
think-
swingers party.
do you
Everyone
think-
comes in and just puts their sandals in a glass bowl.
Do you think, like, there were certain people who were like, I want to see how many deals I can make and how many sandals I can collect. And then there are people who
It's
just,
like those
have
icebreaker
a
games
ton
that they
of-
play at youth
Yeah.
events.
Or it's like, let's see how many sandals you can get, and it was like, I'm gonna go make so many deals. Like, next week?
I like the that ancient Israeli game show hosted by Howie Mandel, Sandal or No Sandal?
It's like if you're playing a game and you only have a limited amount of currency that you can get, and then you have things you really want to spend it on really quickly, and you're like, okay, I have 3 sandals, I need to, like, use them in deals wisely, and then 2 minutes later, you're all out of sandals because you just...
It would add an
did a
interesting
bunch of
new
deals.
layer to Monopoly if you had a limited stock of sandals, so you could only make so many like deals with the other players.
I want to get a railroad. Oren, I need a railroad.
And then you have to start giving people your real life footwear. So you have to win. Monopoly's serious, guys. Even without the real money.
Okay, so he gets some witnesses because those are always helpful.
Yes.
And he goes and meets with Oron. And he's like, hey, Oron, just, like, surprise, I was actually the one managing their property for Naomi and Elimelech. I forgot his name there.
Okay, here's my question.
He's like, hey, guess what? I've been doing it this whole time. What you want to do, sucker? You just got pranked. And then he, like, pulls off his chair legs and he hits him over the head with it like it's a pro wrestling game. And then he runs off.
ladder match. The thing I don't get is, like, what was Boaz doing with the land? He's rich, but he wasn't developing the land this whole time, because I would have expected what it means for Boaz to look after the land while we're gone is, oh, I'm going to get people to, like, plant in it, grow it, harvest it, use the land while you're gone, because it's, like, an investment that you're, like, allowing me to look after
just,
it.
like, stop him from Oron.
Yeah, but why wouldn't Boaz be doing that? He's apparently rich. Why would he not be using this land? Because then they come back and they're like, your fields are all dead and you have nothing to glean in them. I'm like, what has Boaz been doing?
Maybe Elimelech was just like,
he
didn't want to feel like he owed Boaz anything, so he's just like, just watch it.
He wouldn't, because Boaz
and
could either take the profits or take some of the profits off of it. It's literally like the parable of the talents, and Boaz just buried his field in a field.
Do you think Boaz
But I mean,
forgot?
like-
He's like, oh shoot, I wasn't supposed to be doing that. I've been too busy
in the
buying
actual-
chair pants. No!
I spent it all in one
I
place.
squandered all my money on
I didn't
chair
think they
pants.
were ever going to come back to Israel. I sold the land to Oren immediately.
Do you have any idea how expensive that one pair of tearaway chair pants was? I bought another pair.
I just
bought
keep
another
tearing
pair,
them away
and
instantly.
I accidentally tore them away. And I just have to keep on buying new ones because they all keep on being
They're
destroyed.
not reusable, guys. It's not Velcro or snap buttons under here. Anyways, Gabe, sorry, go
And he's
on.
like, Ruth, I'm not a
Okay.
rich man anymore. I spent all my money on chair pants.
I'm old and I'm poor,
And I'm so drunk.
but I can sit anywhere I want.
And really, isn't that what's worth it? And like Obed, when he's born, is like, Obed, you are going to be... You're the heir of a large inheritance of chair pants.
And Obed,
You are the son of a king of an empire.
Obed is like, this is why legally I am Malin's son and not your son. You're not my real father.
Like, Obed's friends are like, hey, can we come over to your house? He's like, no, please don't. I don't want you to see my house.
So sorry, there's nowhere for you to sit.
My parents are so embarrassing. Whenever Obed goes anywhere and there isn't anywhere to sit, he's just like, this is nothing like at home.
We have actually, I didn't think this would ever happen. We've broken our record for the longest into a video it took us to finish summarizing the episode.
There's some...
And that says a lot.
There's another episode that we did one time, the one with Buddy and the abandoned mine, where, like, that summary just turned into...
The whole thing.
Into the
I
whole
don't think it
thing.
took us 35 plus minutes, though.
I mean, the entire episode probably didn't take us that long for the review, but that doesn't matter.
What happens
Okay.
next, Gabe?
So, we have yes, I've been taking care of the land, and Naomi's ready to sell it. I will buy it, but I know you really want to buy it, so, like, and you have first dibs, rule 0, so, do you want it? And he's like, of course I want it, yeah, I want it. He's like, okay, so when's the wedding? I'm really wanting an invitation to that, you know, because we're so close. And it's like, Or I was like, what wedding? Wedding?
What?
So, I was like, to Ruth, because we buy women with our land here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. They do say that phrase specifically multiple times in the episode. You've purchased Ruth, and I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, whatever. That's how it goes.
Give me your shoe.
He's like, I don't want it because I'm your racist uncle. So Boaz buys the land instead. And they get married and live happily ever after and give birth to Obed. And Naomi's like, I got a kid again to take care of, and I'm not Mara anymore.
Do you think they called Obed because they're like, we want to name you after something that has to do with laying down?
I knew you were going to say that.
The next innovative step.
I knew you were going to say that. You know how you might think there was this little flickering light in my conscience.
Obed,
it was like,
you are the light of my life.
It's like, Victoria's better than that. She wouldn't sink that low. But no such light exists within my spirit.
and then, yeah, Gabe, what happens next?
Obed is the father of David, who becomes Jesse, who, yeah, okay, I was like, there's a step here missing. Jesse, who is the father of David, who becomes king. And very, very much later, we have Jesus. And it's like, and Bible study ends.
And a bunch of sucky kings in between, but we don't need to talk about them.
And, because we haven't said it yet, Rahab's...
Yep, that's the thing I wanted to bring up.
Boaz's mom. Also, Connie and Bible study, and then Jenny and Courtney are like, wow, that was really good. Maybe we'll come back for another Bible study. And Connie's like, yes, I got him. Okay, everyone, I guess you can talk now.
It is funny, like, the last scene, to me, the whole exchange between Orrin and Boaz, like, there's most of this story, is like a lot of embellishment stuff from the original, but it's funny to me the parts of this story, like that conversation, that have like this very narrative flair to them dialogue wise and stuff. And it's like, but no, that is actually how it happened in scripture, where Boaz is like, oh, you're going to take the land. Okay. Ruth is going to have kids with you, and they're going to be Mahlon's kids, and they're going to inherit all your property, take it away from your kids and stuff. Puncture!
And he's just like, when's the wedding?
Yeah, it is.
I love that sass.
I also like Naomi being like, he's very shrewd, and then it like hard cuts to that. And the fact that he has like all the elders, and I always just imagine the elders like it's a rom-com or something like that, like cheering him on and being like, go get the girl, and he's just like, yeah. And then he's like running. And then it, like, every now and then cuts back to Ruth to just show her doing whatever she's doing. Maybe she's just, like, tensely doing something. And it cuts to him, like, running. And it cuts back and forth. And then they, like, hug.
Ruth is sorting out a heck of a lot of grain right now.
Yeah, okay. Good transition, because we need to talk about this.
Does not really come up. They mentioned, like, he gives her some barley or wheat.
Yeah.
It should be wheat at this point, but...
No, it was barley, because it was, like, it's back at the beginning.
Yeah.
We know for a fact it was barley because Devin, would you like to? Oh, and I have my computer.
What the actual weight was?
I wrote it down. It's on my computer.
Good. So we noticed because they were like, "Hey, this is how much barley Ruth carried back after her like second day out in the field or whatever." And I was like, I wonder how much that is in modern day measurements. Let's look it up. So we did some math. Here's the thing, though. It gives us the volume. And I was like, boy, I sure hope that Google has a converter for in metric, the cubic density of uncooked barley. And surprise, it does.
It has a barley converter.
Google was like, oh, you wanted to know barley density in metric for converting from, like, cubic centimeters and meters into grams? Obviously, we have that. And I was like, well, that was very convenient. I did try and correct it for like the packing density because that wasn't really covered. But yeah, we tried to figure out how much weight was Ruth carrying
Drumroll.
at once.
In her shawl.
Just carrying it in her shawl, like over her back to Naomi. Was it 10 pounds? Was it 15 pounds?
I
No.
like to think that this was the final test of whether he should marry Ruth or not. Like, if you can carry this, I will marry you. Ruth carried all the way home, and Naomi saw and was like, holy crap,
Yes.
that's a lot of barley.
Carried how much?
Because it was
Approximately.
130.68 pounds. And like, holy crap, Ruth is really swole, can I just say?
I mean, yeah, we very roughly estimated how to like account for the air in the density of the barley packing. So that's very spitballed, but it's a lot is the point.
It's so much.
What was it? It was like 100 liters. It was like 68 liters or something like that. 55 liters of barley.
That he just casually measured out into her shawl. I was like, here you go.
Yeah, because let's appreciate not
Maybe
only
it's
how
because
much...
he was drunk. He like gave her literally all his barley. It's because he was drunk.
Let's appreciate not only how much, mass she was carrying.
He thought it was 13 pounds.
But also...
he got the decimal wrong because he was drunk.
Let's also appreciate how much volume that is, 55 liters, to carry around with you. I guess
Her shawl must be like really strong that it didn't tear.
I guess it's not that. What? That's like maybe 11 gallons ish.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to carry that much.
A gallon is about 4 liters.
Yeah.
Because
So
I
you
think
got-
a gallon is easy for me to visualize because it's like a milk jug.
Milk jug. I usually split things up into like 4 liters and think of it as a big milk jug.
Yeah, so it's a lot. And the other thing we wanted to bring up, as Victoria pointed out already, is the Rahab thing. And I'm sure I brought this up on the podcast at some point. Pretty sure I mentioned it the first week after I realized this. But a couple years ago, I realized that Rahab of Jericho was the mother of Boaz, according to, I think it was Matthew chapter 1. And that perfectly, instantaneously explains literally everything you need to know about Boaz and why he was the way he was. And you can hear it, like, knowing that and listening to this episode, you can hear it come through so clearly in his first, like, meeting with Ruth. His surprise at first, hearing that this Moabitess returned to Israel from her own land, that she worships Adonai, for her to talk about, like, how others chased her away for being different, that she doesn't understand why he would treat her so kindly, that she's only a foreigner, why would he do this for her, and how he just, like, shuts that talk right down, how he also shuts down Zarabeth when she says that Ruth isn't one of God's chosen, and Boaz points out that we're all chosen by God. Zarabeth.
Zarabeth is the new Penina.
No, she's the new, like, Susan from the PTA.
Oh, they're gonna say she's the new Lizzie from Always Open.
Yes. And it's also so perfectly fit into the fact that he was raised by a woman who lived in an enemy nation but believed in God and, like, defected to Israel when the opportunity struck, and surely faced a lot of prejudice for her lineage as a result, and raised her son to be better than they were.
She raised him to be a good boy, and he
Which is cool, because then I realized it means that the love and loyalty to one's mother is then a shining theme for both Ruth and Boaz.
He's a good boy. How awesome would it be if Rahab was...
I want to see Rahab meeting Ruth.
They would be best friends.
They would, like, jam so hard together.
They would jam and jelly together. They would just
They would
mix
come
so
on
much.
and slam and welcome to that jam. And, I mean,
Come
I
on
don't know.
and slam. Hey, welcome to the jam.
No, it would be amazing. And I assume probably Rahab's passed away by this point, if Boaz is old as he says. But
Probably. I'm so old, Ruth. You don't understand. The only thing I have going on in my life now is chair pants. Just tearaway chair
I
pants.
thought you were going to say the only thing I have going out of my life is my hair.
The only thing I have left is my tearaway chair pants, and even then, if I make one wrong move, they're gone.
Just a stiff breeze will rip them right off of me.
One
I
time,
got like
I tried
6 citations a
to
week
carry
for public
too much
indecency.
barley in my chair pants, and they just tore away.
I had to leave them right there at the side of the road. They just sat there withering away like the Good Samaritan.
I was chair pantsless and sandalless because I made deals that day.
Just naked and afraid.
He still had his robe on, though.
It was very breezy, though.
Oh, poor guy. Is there anything else that anyone wants to say? So we have, like, Swole, Ruth, and Chair Pants Empire Boaz.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Naomi's going by Naomi again because she's happy.
Yes.
And we have Obed, the heir to nothing that he wants. Do you think that's, like, why he's so tired sounding in episodes with, like, David? He's
also
thinking
old
of Jesse,
by that point.
Victoria.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Right. Maybe, like, the tiredness passed down to Jesse. And David's
Just-
like...
That is the tragic cycle of tired fatherhood.
Can you imagine, like, because the chair pants are just, like that, if they, like, made tiny chair pants, and that's where slingshots came from, and
that's what David used.
That's what David used to take down
He
Goliath.
killed Goliath with his great-grandfather's antique chair pants. Family heirloom.
I'm crying a little bit. I hate this. No, don't touch me. This is your fault. You started this. I didn't even know what chair
different
pants
type of
was before
slingshot.
I built the tower.
You brought this upon yourself.
I hate this.
All right, I think that's... do you have anything else to say, Gabe, about the episode?
No, we brought up he's a Disney princess.
He's a Disney
She is
princess, he
swole.
Okay, final thoughts on the episode. Rating, Victoria.
It's so good, and the acting is so good. I said it in the last one and not this one, but, like, the pure joy in his voice when he realizes that he's going to be able to be with Ruth after the deal with Mr. Neverending Story Amulet falls flat is just, like, so beautiful, and I love him. And it's just, even though Connie, like, I don't know what translation she was reading from was going on, I still think it is very good, and I would solidly give it 5 out of 5 stars.
I will give it... I feel like I've been handing out too many 5s lately.
That doesn't matter. It's because we review lots of episodes we like.
I know, but I feel
Also,
like
I thought you liked being objective.
How dare you turn my pragmatism against me.
I really don't want you to give it anything less than
Yeah,
a
I know.
5.
I know, Victoria.
Do you want Gabe to do her rating while you think?
No. It is very good. I really like the way that they smoothly, like, rolled the previously on and stuff like that, and explanations of things kids may have forgotten from the first episode into a narrative format for the episode, structurally, instead of just putting it, you know, a bunch of clips into a previously on. It's a great story, and they did, like, a balanced job of telling it. They added stuff, but they really didn't add that much of importance to divert from it, given how condensed of a story it is originally. They really didn't cut anything out of it as you go along. It's captured very well, and just the tenderness and the chemistry between Ruth and Boaz, and particularly between Ruth and Naomi, is captured so well. It's good. It's good stuff. I'll give it a 4.9 out of 5.
Are you just doing that because you can?
1 decimal point to work with.
1 decimal point. The whole, like, not just half decimals, but the whole range.
Yes.
Oh dear, that's quite the...
That's why I was going, so I could let you know what kind of significant figures we're working with here.
Yeah.
You do not have 2 decimal points, much to Victoria's chagrin. She
I
tries
wish
to
I
do it.
had two.
She tries to use it all the time, and I just round it to her, for her, to the nearest 1 decimal
And
point.
then I usually end up lowering it.
Yeah, I really liked the voices. I have no other, like, benchmark to put this against. I haven't rated anything else, really. But yeah, I liked the voices. I liked the way that they portrayed the different characters that really brought it more to life than when you're just reading it. Yeah, the embellishments had a couple, like, created a couple plot holes that didn't exist previously. Like, what was Boaz doing with this land the whole time? And,
Yeah, I guess
see
that
that.
isn't in the original, is it? The fact that he was the
No.
one taking care of the land the
No,
whole time?
it's
No,
not.
yeah.
Which begs the question, why didn't Oren try to take it? So, possibly there's a plot hole either
But
way.
Oren also wasn't like this,
Oren,
like,
yeah.
this,
Oh,
like,
that's true.
cigar smoking.
He doesn't actually show up until the end of the story.
Yeah, he doesn't show up until
So,
it's like, oh, there's
never mind.
another guy, though. Here he is.
It's
Bring
great.
him out of nowhere.
It's great because it's not even Oren's motivation that puts him into, like, this stereotypes all the way, but it's even, like, specific word choices he uses. The accent that they chose to give him and stuff is all pointing towards this very specific stereotype that shouldn't exist until the 1900s in terms of a story setting.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were a couple of plot holes that were from embellishments, but I really liked the way they would, where there was a good spot to stop, they would kind of throw in, like, questions that, like, people would have
And Connie,
and sort of address them.
at least Connie acknowledged that she was embellishing the story and using imagination,
Yeah.
which is more than
I'm
you
talking
usually
about-
get with dramatic retellings of Bible stories.
Yeah, and using, like, the contexts from what had been happening before then in
Yeah.
previous books is also really cool.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I really liked it overall. Take a couple, like, points off for plot holes. So, I don't know, 4.7
That's fair.
out of 5?
That's pretty good. Who is Jenny's pen pal again? In pen
It was Robin, right?
Okay.
Or no, it was Melanie, sorry. Because
Okay.
Robin was being all the, like, haughty older sister, like, wow, Melanie, you're so ableist. So yeah, it was Melanie.
I just want to say 0 out of 5 stars for Jenny's
Brother.
brother. Not only for stealing her cane, but also appearing out of nowhere. How dare he?
But to play pool.
He's never even been in an
And also,
episode. Never mentioned in any other episode
and
that I can think
also
of.
more points off because he's bad at pool.
Yeah, well, you would be too if you were using someone's cane.
I mean, he's probably bad at it either way.
Anywho.
So, yeah, that's everything. Once again, we'll cut to other future Devin and Victoria to wrap up the episode, because I don't think we even know what is going to come after when this one comes out next at this point. So it'll be as much a surprise to you as it is to us right now. So yeah, thank you, Gabe, so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we get to talk
Dude,
to you
let's
so
do this
rarely
more.
these days.
I
Definitely
love-
don't talk to you every single day.
Yeah,
I love you
Definitely won't be
hearing.
talking to you later tonight.
I love you
or
hearing.
now.
Odyssey
Might as well do it now,
episodes
probably, right? I
for the
imagine,
first time.
unless you're
No, she has
busy.
to eat dinner.
I
Okay.
have to eat some food, but
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, I could.
I want to do this with you more if you're open to that, because you don't listen to Odyssey regularly like we do. So
It'll become to the point where I have listened to too many, and then I will no longer be like the random
We'll-
person who knows nothing.
We'll
or
toss you
doing
by the
things.
wayside and find some other
No.
naive person.
That's when we grab my brother
Yeah.
and stuff
we
him in.
say no. That's when you get the title amateur expert.
I
I
have
never actually waved goodbye, so that I'm just cutting out like, see ya.
no.
The
I have
sass look.
I have toyed with the idea for this show before, of like when we go through, you know, eventually on that future day that's probably never going to happen at this rate. Going slowly through Novacom or the Blackbird Chronicles, that it would be cool to like have
Yeah,
someone
but
not knowing, but
by-
then you wouldn't be able to discuss spoilers and stuff.
By the time like we get through it, it'll be like 10 years later.
Yes, I know. That's why it's difficult.
So I don't think that's a good idea.
Hence the challenge.
But
Uh,
unless we do like 1 minute. Wait. Okay, we're gonna end this and we're gonna talk about some stuff. So.
Spoilers.
Oh, I'm still recording this.
Oh yeah,
I
this
guess
is
I
still
can
in
stop
the
Yeah, we're
it.
still
episode right
recording
now.
this.
Ooh.
So yeah.
You doing my hair?
That's okay. I do my hair all
Pull
the time.
back behind the curtain. So yeah, we're gonna end this right here, and yeah. Let's go in. Make this text big now that you're not looking at it. Oops.
No spoilers for me, world.
Now you're finally safe from Kingdom Hearts.
I am.
We solved the
The
dilemma.
problem. We did it. Thank you, Devin. I just have to stay like this until February. No more problems in my life. Well, time to go write my essay.
Time to go buy a $600 Braille Bible.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay, are you gonna leave us in?
Sure, why not? Okay, so we're back now. We talked about Ruth. It was fun times. Now it's time to talk about album 66. It is called Trial by Fire.
Ooh, are you gonna make me run across some hot burning coals?
Yes, that's our fun
around this?
object lesson part of today.
I feel like I have to do like a
We're gonna
touch lesson
yeah.
where you like give me a frog and I'm like, ooh, is it a banana or something like that?
Yep.
You know, like they do on, I don't know, Sesame Street? I don't know where that came from.
Yep. Yep, no better way to teach kids about frogs than blindfold them and make them feel like weird, wet, living organisms that they think's a banana.
It actually is a heart. Like
yeah, a
real
live heart.
beating heart.
That's the Don't
And it
Hug Me, I'm
turns out
Scared parody.
That kid is Victor Frankenstein.
Mhm. Okay, so predictions. Time to talk about Trial by Fire. It's a pretty cool name for a pretty cool album. I'm very excited about it. It comes
I can't
out.
comment on the album artwork.
You can take. We're gonna do that last so that you can take
Okay.
take the blindfold off for it.
Okay.
This album comes out on the AIOC December 13th, which is 2 days from this recording, probably 1 day from the upload. So Thursday.
I can't do this because then it will fall off. I have
Thursday.
To just look up.
Check it out. So, time to talk about. We should go through the album description first, right?
My eyes are going to be full of fluff after this.
Yes, I believe we normally do the album description first.
We do.
I will
and then
read it.
Do either the album art or.
Yeah, we'll do the art last. So I will read it, and you can just react to it, Victoria, with the half of your face that we can see.
Just pretend these are my eyebrows.
Okay.
Whoa!
Wow, you're so dexterous.
Emotive.
Okay. After years of searching for his true identity, Buck Oliver may finally get some answers when a painting from his mother suddenly shows up in Odyssey. But along with clues about his family, he's also subjected to the dangers of his past. Elsewhere, the Parkers are forced to evacuate their home, and Connie and Jules face roommate troubles. Dramatic conclusions and fresh beginnings abound in these 6 entertaining and inspiring adventures in Odyssey.
Every time you say 6, I just get real sad.
I know. But I'm pretty excited about...
That sounds like they're wrapping up every single arc we have.
particular aspects.
Except for the one I
Maury.
care about most, which is Maury.
I'm sorry, I care pretty much a lot about Buck Oliver and his mother painting and the dangers of his past.
No, don't get me wrong. I care about Buck, like, a lot. It's just Maury is such a thorn in my side because he never gets talked about.
I know.
And even if he does, it's like every second or third album.
But I
it's
get
just
that
really
they're playing the
frustrating.
long game.
I don't like the long game. I like the short game where I get answers. And Maury gets punished.
So here are the episodes for this album. We have episode 856, Much Ado About Jealousy, which is...
Oh, I don't like that title. I feel like there could have been a good pun there and it was squandered.
I mean, it's cool because we just saw Much Ado not very long ago, since we last recorded, certainly. And it was really good.
It was.
It was
I really loved
phenomenal.
I love
I read it
so much, and Beatrice.
I read it back in high school and watched like two film adaptations. I'd never seen it live before, or any Shakespeare live for that
It
matter.
was so good.
It was, I mean, when I read it, I was like, this is a hilarious story. Seeing it in person is like, it was so
somehow
good.
like
Both the written
the
stuff
parts that
and
were
the physical
least
comedy.
funny, the least funny parts
Yeah.
of the original story were somehow the funniest parts in the play with like the police.
Yeah, even
and
stuff that
Like
seems
Dogwood
like, yeah, the
was
really
incredible.
like slapstick physical comedy that normally seems really cheesy, like, it was
so funny.
it was
I was like
excellent.
in tears. It was so good.
So that I already happen to know because I accidentally caught people most of the description. The Much Ado About Jealousy is, as one might guess, the Connie and Jules' roommate troubles. So
With that other girl whose name I can't remember.
something with the two. It's not Julie. What is it?
I want to just call her PJ. Can we just call her female PJ?
I mean, that's a bit long.
PJ.
P-Jet.
Okay. I mean the Smurfette principle. It works.
No, it's like Peachette. Like, yeah.
I thought you were.
We're
going
capitalizing on the super still hot Bowsette craze.
I thought you were going for both a like literary trope reference, like a story convention reference.
That's not
title.
so much as that's just
also
French linguistics. That's just basic
Smurfette.
like French suffix to
Yeah, I know, but like
feminize.
the Smurfette principle is like having a female character introduced that's
Yeah,
the
that's fair.
equivalent of a male character.
That's fair. But that's a bit different, right? Isn't Smurfette? It's not a female version of a singular male character. It's like female version of like all the other male characters because she's the only woman in the entire character
I
group.
mean, that's what like the thing is called, the idea.
Yeah.
But like Smurfette didn't exist at the beginning of the Smurfs. Like
No, I know that.
yeah, she was created by Gargamel, but she's just supposed to be like a female version of them, but they all look the same. So
Yes.
and like the female version, the personality is always like different. So the looking the same is one of the most important things that defines it as something that has to do with the Smurfette principle.
As her name is killing me now, Victoria. It's killing me slowly.
That's my favorite Fall Out Boy song.
Jillian Marshall.
Yeah.
Double L Jillian, double L Marshall.
I feel like her and PJ
I really like
would
her.
instantly fall in love.
Oh, I'm sure.
And,
If he can ever get out of that
yeah,
terrible
with his horrible
relationship.
relationship with
That
his
terrible
girlfriend.
relationship he's in.
Lovely girl. Yeah, she is.
Oh, what if it is Jillian? We don't know.
Oh, it could be her.
It could be Jillian.
Oh my gosh.
That would be what a good callback that would be.
Dude, new OTP. Holy crap.
What if she's just like,
What a
oh, by the
shit.
way, Connie, Jules, my boyfriend's here, and it's PJ Manning.
Honestly,
I would cry. I would be
best
so
ship
excited.
ever. I would be so happy. Hey, Devin, you know how I'm like really good at predicting
She's like
things?
talking to
You know
Jason.
how I predict things and then they happen? I hope this is your shoulder. We got it. We got one. This is gonna happen. Mark my
Oh,
words.
please.
Kathy,
Yeah.
Kathy, please. Kathy. Please.
Oh, man. Like, just...
Kathy sees this one clip and she's like, why is she wearing a blindfold? That's a scarf.
Just imagine, Victoria, like...
Imagine what their kids would be like. They would be terrible.
Jillian is at work and she's talking to Jason and Jason says something completely normal and she's like, excuse me, Jason, I have a boyfriend. And then PJ shows up and he's like, hands off my girlfriend.
That was a really good
he's also
Maury
voiced by Maury.
impersonation.
I know that's not what PJ sounds like, but that's the energy he brings to the
That
table.
was actually a good PJ impersonation.
That's the energy he brings.
Yeah.
Spiritually, that's what he sounds like. That's what his aura sounds like. Every time his
From
voice...
this radio show.
Every time his voice astral projects into my soul, that's what I feel. Episode...
We're never gonna make it onto any other episode.
Episode 857 is...
Okay, no joke. Jillian and PJ are like the best shit
I really
the show's
want it.
ever given
I
me.
really
and
want
they're
it
not
now.
even a ship. I want it so
Um,
bad.
episode 857 is called Same Mold Story. But
And it's the love story flashback of PJ and Jillian.
when they were working in a mycology lab, yeah. They spelled mold wrong. They spelled it the American way, which annoys me. But
Well,
you know,
they're American.
yeah, and it's annoying.
It
There's-
should be the American.
It's just as
spelling.
annoying as it is with Shining Armor and Like a Good Neighbor, and I think there's another
It's
episode
'cause
with
they're
Neighbor in it
American
too.
properties.
Pink is not my color.
They're American properties.
It's bad. It's wrong.
No.
It's wrong.
No, it's not. 'Cause they're American series.
It's the only thing where I'll get prescriptivist about things.
It's
So-
dumb though that you are.
Same mold story is obviously that is the Parkers are forced to evacuate their home, presumably because there's mold, which is not the most exciting answer based on what the description could suggest. But who knows? Maybe while their house,
do
maybe
you
they're
think
fumigating their house.
The neighbors can get involved. That neighbor kid from a couple episodes back.
Perhaps they have to fumigate the mold. I don't think that's how you get rid of mold.
No, I don't think it is either.
And while it's happening, their house gets broken into by like this guy.
By
and he's
Mr.
like,
Skint. Ooh,
No,
and
no.
he gets fumigated and dies. Goodbye, story arc.
no, they get broken into by a certain dang, what's his name?
PJ.
No, I was making an Amnesty joke, and I'm trying to remember who is
Boyd?
the guy that Ned based it. Brian Blessed, that's his name. I was like, starts with a B. A Brian Blessed type character who's Ned. But then he runs into another criminal who breaks in at the same time.
Blessed Wheatley.
That's Stephen Merchant. They are
Okay.
pretty much the most diametrically opposite looking people.
I can't
In
remember
existence.
anyone's name.
Oh my goodness, Victoria, I could not pick two people who look more different on the face of the earth than Brian Blessed and
Brian
Stephen Merchant.
Blessed looks like Santa.
Yes.
Okay.
He is a very large, round, very tall, rotund man with a massive
Jovial
lumberjack,
man
large
with
lumberjack
cheeks like
beard and a giant,
rose
like,
cheeks.
belly Santa Claus looking lumberjack man.
You said Santa Claus looking so many times in a row.
Because that's what he looks like. He was on QI one episode. That's why I know who he was. Even though the McElroys didn't, which I thought was weird, except for Clint, obviously. Anyways.
Is this what it's like to be blind? Dude, I feel like all my other senses are steadily heightening, and I'm gonna be able to fight
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
anything. I'm gonna be able to fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm gonna be able to fight my inner darkness. The unfortunate thing is after I take this off, I will turn into Leonard Nimoy. What else am I gonna fight? I'm gonna fight men who aren't lawyers. All men who aren't lawyers. You're gonna get fought
That's
after.
a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. I'm also gonna fight people who are like Cable, but not quite. Yeah.
Alright, let's see how well your senses are hanging. Victoria, catch this.
Did you actually throw anything?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I didn't think you did. Ha! I knew you didn't.
I was gonna pretend to throw something and not like you do for a dog, and then I was like, why would I even do that part? You can't see. So yeah, Parkers have mold. The end. Episode 858. Episode 858. BTV Trinity.
Oh boy. I feel like they've already done this. It's called 3-in-1.
That's
You can
fair.
find it in the Truth Chronicles.
That's fair. But it's BTV, which it means it's different because Bernard's in it.
I feel like this is gonna be like a worse version of 3-in-1 because I actually like 3-in-1.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, never much to be said about what's going to come for a BTV.
I think it's
episode.
gonna be like 3-in-1. Those are my predictions, but worse.
There's probably going to be individual. I doubt there'll be like a single Bible story they'll pull to try and incorporate all three persons of the Godhead at once. So I imagine they'll be like, oh, here's a story about God. Here's a story about Jesus. Here's
the
Pentecost.
Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I'm sure
Ooh.
there's definitely going to be like a Pentecost thing in there.
Yeah.
And then, which you remember, Victoria, you said you wouldn't comment on this part, the back half of the album.
Okay.
Episodes 859 to 861 is a 3-parter, The Long End, Part 1 to 3, which is, quote, about... This isn't a quote, actually. This is just me remembering from like an hour ago. It's about Buck and Eugene and Katrina, and is semi-quote, soft quotes, the final conclusion-ish to the Green Room Conspiracy. A continuation explicitly of the GRC. Buck's mom painting, dangers of his past, and spoiler alert, the album art has Mr. Skint on it. Lurking in the bushes. Jay is probably... Oh.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
That was a face journey that you did not get to experience. Man, the wheels in my head were just spinning a million miles an hour.
Trust me, I could see the faces you made in my head. Trust me.
I know you
because
could.
We've had this conversation so many different times.
That's the final loop, Victoria. The final loop that
It's
he
the
makes.
Valyard. It all comes
On Trenzalore.
The circle of stupidity is complete.
On Trenzalore, and the question will be asked, Skint who? Skint who? Yeah, you can take the blindfold off now, I guess, so we can look at the album art.
No comment.
Unless you wanted...
on those last 3 episodes.
Oh, that's what I thought.
By the way. Oh, no, I can't take it off yet.
Why?
That light is so bright. My sensitive eyes.
Mr. Skint,
I feel like I've been
I'll be
underground
honest,
for 10 years.
Mr. Skint is uglier than I would have assumed.
That's not nice. Oh, my eyes hurt so bad.
But no one's really looking good on this cover except for Buck, I guess. Katrina has a 5 head.
Oh man, my eyes.
And Eugene
my hair probably looks
like a different genus of primate entirely. Yes, you're correct.
I didn't think that's actually what you were gonna say. You're so mean.
No, but I mean, the proportions in Katrina's head are very unforgiving towards everything above her eyebrows, both her forehead and her hair.
No, I was gonna say, you don't know she
Mr.
has
Skint.
like a 5 head, but she actually does, because
yes,
you know, like that.
Yeah. Look at Mr. Skint.
He looks like a prospector.
Maybe,
you know what? Maybe, let's be kind. He might be wearing a disguise.
Maybe it's a Mission Impossible mask. Maybe he actually looks like Ryan Gosling. Who knows?
Maybe those aren't his real teeth. You know, I can see why Buck was surprised when he was clean shaven.
I know, well, that's all I can think of right now.
Yeah.
Is when Buck's like, wow, Mr. Skint, you cleaned up so well.
That is what Johnny Depp is gonna look like in 1 month.
I assume that's what he looked like in Fantastic Beasts 2.
I mean, the beard wasn't that length. Give it 1 month.
Yeah, I assume the Crimes of Grimble Dimble that is what he looked like, and they're like, yeah, I mean, Dumbledore hit that, sure. Yeah, who knows? Maybe he blacked out one of his teeth with a Sharpie.
They'll never recognize me if I black out one tooth. Genius. Yeah, Eugene doesn't look that bad. His mouth. That's not the worst that he's looked. A really okay. You know, like
I'm sad that his glasses are less like
from the 90s that would have scary infomercials with like puppets on them. It's like, call now.
Don't you put it in your mouth?
And then like all the puppets had like huge teeth.
Yeah. I assume you're talking about PSAs, not infomercials.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I feel like infomercials are in somewhere wrong.
Or like call lines and
hey,
stuff.
Nightmare Puppet here, buy the ShamWow.
Nightmare Puppet here, I'll tell you a story if you call this phone number, but don't forget to ask your parents. I charge
you must be over 18.
$50 per minute. Woo! But like his teeth, he looks like a scary puppet. Buck looks really good. He looks cool. He looks like he just walked
wear a
off
leather jacket all the time.
The set of West Side Story, but like a modern
less grease
presentation of it on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Lin-Manuel Miranda version.
Yeah.
Of West Side Story.
We got this nice rocket here. I'm so glad that all of the parenting tips that they absorbed at the end of last album have stuck so well, as they're now lighting off pyrotechnics in a field.
It's like when you get notes back from your teacher and you're like,
and you
"Thank
just
you.
ignore them completely.
I will take this into consideration."
Yes.
And you quickly skim it, and you might read some parts a little bit in depth, and you're like, no, I thought it was good. And then you put it in the recycling.
Yeah. You Banksy it, where you're like, thank you, please put it in my backpack, and they drop it in, and you can hear
shredding, but then it doesn't get all the way through, and you're like, oh, darn it. And then they're like, I'll still buy it for a crap ton of money.
For $1 million, yeah. I guess it's more like that one RT short.
Yeah.
But still, whatever. The Banksy joke is more topical than a 10-year-old short.
I mean, the Banksy thing still happened like a while back.
I said more topical, not topical.
That's true.
Yeah, so Eugene's
At least they
here.
finally got to make another rocket.
Eugene has some nice Converse on, at least. That's a nice vest. Yeah. Buck's looking fashionable as always.
If you showed me this before, one, it probably...
That's a very high-resolution image.
It probably would have taken me a moment to notice Mr. Skint.
Mm-hmm. Well, I honestly, because I looked at the tiny thumbnail originally, and I didn't even notice it until I saw a mysterious man is hiding in the bushes in the image description on AIOO Wiki.
And you looked at it bigger, and you're like,
and then
no,
was like,
he's not. And then you exited.
He's not even wearing camo. Come on, what kind of hick are you, Mr. Skint? Or what are you, like, he's not even going to a way.
He doesn't weigh enough to have the right to wear camouflage.
He only weighs 199 pounds, so unfortunately he had to wear a soda hat and, like, crushed green velvet shirt. And
Buck, why aren't you wearing your entire red outfit?
Chrétien Laboutins.
Buck's not in all red. Do you need a moment?
So good. It's really nice to have this album art that's like, oh, look at this.
Look at that family.
Look at this family, Victoria.
Victoria,
they're a family.
They are a family. They're beautiful.
They're a family of people together, and it's sweet.
I like when I see pictures of Eugene and Katrina to look at their eyes and hear their voices inside my brain box saying what their eye colors are.
Aww.
Like, I look at Eugene, every single time I see a picture of Eugene and I look at his eyes, I just hear both Eugene and Katrina saying, Periwinkle blue. It doesn't look periwinkle blue.
It does not look periwinkle to me.
Maybe that's why they couldn't get the answer right.
Yeah, that's why. Also, do Katrina's eyes look particularly gray to you? They look more blue than gray to me.
They look blue.
I mean, I'm also pretty sure gray eyes don't exist.
Yes, they do.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh. Remember I told you about that video I watched where
I don't remember you talking about gray eyes. I always thought that was weird in the episode. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not an eye color.
Gray eyes and silver eyes are both things.
Oh, okay.
Because I was watching the video
Katrina's.
And, yeah.
Katrina's the silver-eyed warrior.
She is.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Are gray and silver eyes the same thing?
Probably. They're basically the same color, except one's metallic.
One's metallic and shiny.
Yeah,
one reflects
and I doubt
silver.
Yeah, and silver eyes, I don't think are more especially metallic, except when they're like shiny in anime.
They glow all the time.
Well, they do. Well, not all the time.
No, it's just kind of searing light. Like everyone looks at dusk, and then their retinas start burning out. That's why he's skilled as an antagonist.
And that's why Ruby is good as a nightlight.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mr. Skin's lurking in the bushes. So he's back, Victoria. We've been waiting and waiting. It has been 13 albums, but 13 albums. It's fair because even though they're half albums, we also don't number the AIOC albums, so it adds up to the same thing. So yes, it has been 13 albums. Mr. Skint is finally back. We've been waiting. There's some drama coming, Victoria. This is a 3-parter. Two
things. Wait, you finish first.
I just remembered, if it's talking about a painting from his mother, I feel like that could possibly, it could either be like a clue, but the fact that she has she has paintings could tie more into the there's some secret inheritance, and the fact that we're finding this out about in a 3-parter.
He's a money boy.
I know, I said that. At the
We
same,
both said
I know we
that.
did.
He's a money boy. Oh.
At the same time as Mr. Skink comes back, hiding in the bushes, finally reliving his original form as Jay by like calling back to the truest core form of his soul after his like 18 billion loops through the history, of the universe.
He's been he knows how to track them down at this very moment because he's been every single other character in Odyssey.
That's why he knows.
Including Katrina, that's the plot twist.
Well, it's not a plot twist. We figured it out like a year ago.
Yeah, but he's also Eugene.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, wouldn't he also be
and
back?
Buck, yes.
Wait, who isn't he?
No one.
I thought there was one character.
Was there? I don't think so.
No, I thought there was one character. Maybe it was Connie, 'cause she's always out of the loop.
Aww.
Get it? The loop. Get it in this case?
That is really good.
Because it's...
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's like why he's such a good con artist. Because he already fell for them as all the other people. He knows everything that's going to happen.
He knows how to scam literally every
He's
single person.
He's seen the breadth of all human history.
Which means he will, in fact, kill all the Meltzeners in this episode, including Everett and Leonard.
So tune in. Everett and Leonard are coming
back.
Be
off-screen.
Confirmed by Victoria.
It's going to be off-screen.
Well, that's disappointing.
Star Wars style.
That's the most disappointing thing you could have possibly said to me.
Now you know
Actually,
how
no,
the
it's not.
fans felt after The Last
because
Jedi.
At least that would acknowledge that they still exist.
They're just going to vaguely say, oh, the Meltzeners. He's going to wiggle his fingers. And Eugene's going to say, you know me, and he's going to go, mm-hmm.
Bernard?
Well, that would mean acknowledging Bernard, though.
That's true.
And we're not allowed doing that.
No, that's even more off limits than Leonard and Everett.
And Tom. Tom, like, slightly came within limits, so he's...
Slightly? He came pretty within limits. There was all 2 episodes
like, he eventually
dedicated.
Did. Yeah. It took a while.
Yeah.
But...
He finally apogeed back into that orbit.
Jack is in a weird limbo.
He is very much
limits where he can be mentioned, and he can even
appear in the past.
But we just don't... we can't touch him.
I mean, it's not that weird of a limbo. It's pretty much the actor's passed away, but we can still talk about him and show him in flashbacks. I'd say that's like the most standard kind of limbo for most shows.
My eyes are still like really messed up from looking at that right after I took this off, from it being over my eyes for a long amount of time. Actually, it wasn't that long, but still.
Yeah, I'm excited for this album, Victoria.
It's excited for you.
The first 3 episodes are like, it'll be okay. I'm excited for the first one because I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for
PJill.
The PJill. How about we call it PJill? PJill.
Double LPJ.
PJill. I'm excited
PJill.
for PJill, my number 1 OTP that I've had ever since I first started listening to Odyssey when I was 6. Is finally going to sale. I've been waiting for this longer than I've been waiting for
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3. I was going to say anything else in life, but...
Which is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Which is Kingdom Hearts 3, because that is legitimately the longest I've ever waited for anything. Yeah, it's a very exciting time in our lives. You know what's... Okay, what's going to happen first? PJill becomes canon or Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out? That's a hard one, isn't it?
No, it's not, because PJill is going to become canon day after tomorrow.
Isn't it exciting?
It is exciting.
Unfortunately, I have to watch a movie I don't like for them to become canon.
Yeah, we could just use the word overmorrow.
Maybe if I read the Wikipedia article of the
That'll
movie,
suffice.
That'll be good enough.
You can write your essay about it for your final.
I mean, it's a history paper.
It's
about
reverse history.
The World Wars.
It's future history.
No, that doesn't have to do with the World Wars.
Yeah, I think we should probably stop here because I feel like we're encroaching on 2 hours
I feel
territory for this episode, if I recall correctly.
I feel like we should just
I'm not cutting the video there if that's what you're trying to do.
No, I was just waiting to see how
Okay.
long you would react.
Yeah, I'm excited for episode 1, episode 2 and 3, whatever. I'm real excited for the back half of this season, Victoria, let me tell you.
I'm
also
I'm like kind of slightly
also we have
first episode. Second episode, I'm like negative excited. Third episode,
you don't want
I
a
am
fungus-centric
neutral.
story, Parker fungus story?
After their last episode, heck no.
What if the mold
I am
infection came
excited for
from
the
the
last
sandwich
one.
because it stayed out for so long? What amazing continuity.
You know what? As long as it retains David's ook personality, why not, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I'm really intrigued by this story where David got body snatched by the ooks.
It's the underlying story arc. If you pay close enough attention,
Yeah.
it's been there in every episode.
It's been
you
there.
Go back to Lucia
There's actually
opening...
foreshadowing in like the Blacker Chronicles.
Yeah.
That was Blacker's main backup plan.
We didn't
Virus
even know who
in
the Parkers were yet.
his main it was
such a
like
reveal.
plan A, bomb wits end. Plan B, I guess, was still bomb wits end but die at the
Release
same time.
the ook.
Plan C was plant virus of myself in the imagination station. Plant F
Like, and then it
was
had like the little
body snatch David Parker.
The imagination station plan had like a little asterisk, and it's a
Mhm.
black note: cannot fail under any circumstances. Such a good plan. I'm so smart. If you go back to the episode where Lucia first opens her hairdressing salon, and David is watching
The football.
the football on the TV.
The
The
American
reason
football.
why he needs to hear it and he's upset when the channel changes is because those are the activation codes that we're playing over the TV.
Yeah, when the football men do their code yell and they're like 42, 18, alpha, delta, height, and David's like,
And then he like shaved the woman who he was helping bald.
wow, you solved the mystery real fast, Victoria. I'm very
Thank you.
impressed. This is why you're gonna graduate soon with your English degree.
Yeah.
I'm so glad school's paid off for you.
Someone has to be.
Oh.
End the episode.
Victoria, we still have so many more episodes to come out before we can release our talking about this album, and that makes me sad. But we can still record it when they come out. So, yeah, next time, what are we talking about, Victoria?
What aren't we talking about? In this
Most
case,
things.
it's gonna be no movies, no audio episodes, no discussions.
It's your favorite type of episode,
It's
our
just
most
gonna be-
popular series.
Us reading the books. Those Imagination Station books, and boy, am I ready for this.
Yeah. We have
Those
a
books.
Braille copy for Victoria. Now that she's been blinded by our backlighting lamp.
I think my eyes are actually messed up from looking at screens too much, and that's why I haven't read books as much this year, is my theory. Because I spend about a solid 10 minutes reading, and then I just start furiously blinking, and I feel the need to look at a screen.
you know what's
So
good
I
for that,
think I'm
Victoria?
dying.
This episode of the Adventures in Odyssey Oddcast is brought to you by Felix Gray. Hashtag ad.
It's brought to you by Hymns. Are you bald? Are you Tara or Bowser?
Are you losing function on multiple ends of your body? Hymns. Doesn't work in Canada, I assume.
Why not? Okay.
Yeah. Let's close this out so I can go eat some Blue Apron. Some amazing pre-proportioned ingredients. They're $9.99 per person per meal. Okay, next, we're talking about Secrets of the Pharaoh's Tomb next time. Imagination Station, book number 7. That's what we're doing next time. Until next time. Then thank you for joining us on our side, the YouTube Adventures in Odyssey Oddcast. Devin, goodbye.
And I'm slightly less of a disappointment than when we started this episode. Lofty goals.
Hashtag ad.